Today I'm going hunting for some board games at some local board game stores here in the Cleveland area. I'm working to get connected with the community, and there's a few stores that, from what I can tell online and what I've heard from the community, are worth checking out. Come with me as we look for some Grail games, visit some stores around my local network, and talk about everything I cannot wait to play. So the first place we're going to is a little hole-in-the-wall store apparently called Warzone Matrix. We made it to another game store. We're at Grotz A Lot of Games here, well, in Cleveland, a little bit more of a populated zone, but my car made it over here. We sputtered to start, but we're still alive. I'm here at Recess Games. This is the largest one in the Cleveland area, and guess what? I told you she wasn't going to be part of a vlog. Ignore that. We're going to 3 game stores, buying a ton of games that are hard to find and a little bit unique or rare, and she actually made it to one of them.
And I get to pick out so many of them and bring home so many games because we don't have any games at home.
We have no games at home. I'm going to cut in here to let you know, first off, this is a exciting vlog with some car trouble and 3 incredible board game stores. No, I didn't tell her about that. 3 incredible board game stores that add their own unique flavor to the Cleveland area.
But in the meantime, we want to hear from you. We want to hear who or where is your favorite local game store. We are going to be taking a road trip down to visit my family in Florida for Thanksgiving coming up, and we might be able to divert an hour or 2 on the way and visit some of these spots. So
not just Florida, but we're going to travel over the course of the next year or so.
Yes.
We want to start getting a list of stores that you say we should visit. If we get enough comments in a group or in a location, we might host an event, come out and hang out, hand out some ducks, and if anything, stop by, spend some money, and feature some stores that are doing good things for the community here on the channel. That's what this vlog is all about. Now, this is going to be another one of those uncomfortable vlogs that's just me hanging out with you. This week was supposed to be the week where Shira and I started doing series-based content, and then her grandmother had a medical emergency, so she flew down to Florida. She's a registered nurse and went down and has really been able to use her skills and her experience to be a blessing to her family. She's been taking care of her grandmother, who turns 90 here soon, and it's been a hard week. So I've been managing everything here at Quackalope. This vlog is going to be us hanging out and talking, and Shira should be home tomorrow, which is, well, Friday, the day before you're watching this. And just in case you've been following the narrative of my car, she is still running. Betsy's still going strong. I think we're down to maybe only 2 cylinders currently working. And when I fill up on gas, she won't start without me hitting the pedal. I'm not sure why, but it doesn't sound good. We're alive. But there's an audible click that really shouldn't be there. Shira, say hi to the vlog.
Hi, vlog.
How's Florida going?
Florida is fabulous and warm.
Yeah, but you'll be home tomorrow.
I'm coming home tomorrow. That is correct.
Are there any games or types of games you want me to look for at these board game stores I'm going to?
Do you own Inish? Do you own Zombicide? Do you own Claudi's Kemet? Or Pocket?
Inish, Zombicide, Cyclades, Kemet. Okay, that's the list I have.
Super heavy area control games or little pocket games, please and thank you.
Super heavy area control games, or what is it?
Little pocket games, you know, Scrollopolis, Circle the Wagon.
All right, I'll go hunting. I'll keep you posted. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
I like you.
Thank you.
It is so insanely beautiful out, but it's supposed to snow this weekend. Apparently, Cleveland weather is like 3 or 4 days of amazing fall weather, followed by, well, snow and cold. So the first place we're going to is a little hole-in-the-wall store apparently called Warzone Matrix. I had a friend send me a bunch of photos of this place. It was like wall-to-wall stacked board games, and the name sounds pretty cool. It's titled miniature war games, in-store gaming room. We have all your gaming needs. So, let's see if they're telling the truth. And it's real close to the airport, so Shira and I might stop back here if it's really cool when I pick her up from the airport tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll have to see. I just popped in. They actually saw me through the glass recording that last segment, and they thought I was coming in to look at some high-end Warhammer models?
Yeah, because I believe Squidmar posted a video a couple weeks ago that kind of been popping around on YouTube, so people have been coming here taking pictures and doing videos of that.
But I'm not here for that. I'm here for piles and piles of board games, which I can find. Do you want to give a 30 seconds on what Warzone Matrix is? And introduce yourself, I suppose.
Well, my name is Gabe Hernandez. I'm an employee here at Warzone Matrix here in Rocky River, Ohio. And, we specialize in Warhammer, Magic, and board games. And the piles of board games he's looking for, he found them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've been around here for like 20-something odd years now, and it's run by our owner, Chris Wilson. He's a really good guy, and yeah, I hope you guys like the store and what you see.
Here's the crux from me. I walked in, and there's 3 people here, immediately started talking, being friendly and kind, being helpful, and I've had stores where I've walked in before, and just people stared at me awkwardly, kind of mumbled under their breath, and I left those stores in a second. So good on you guys, and let's see if we can find some hidden gems, because the piles of board games here, that's what we're going to be exploring through. So I am absolutely bringing Shira back here tomorrow because I'm starting to dig, and this just goes on and on. There's games that have been piled here for what seems like years, and then classics that just came out. And as I round a corner, there's just more and more, to the point where I'm going to have to get my phone out so I can actually shine a light on where some of these titles are. I'm really, really impressed and extremely excited. Let me get back into the light. Extremely excited to see what I can find. But I don't know if I have time to explore it all today. This is insane, but really cool. So the board game section's impressive, but not nearly as impressive as the miniatures, wargaming, and RPG side of the store. This place is insane, and this has to be where the main community is built, because it's where most of the area is dedicated to. The reason why board games are piled on top of each other is because we have rows and rows of D&D, RPG, Pathfinder, painters, toolkits, and miniatures that you probably can't find everywhere. I mean, these guys were telling me that they have people that drive up from, well, all regions. They just had a couple come up from Florida to find some pieces specifically because no other store had them. And here, they might have it. It's just a matter of finding it. So I've spent way too long here exploring and digging around. I did have someone recognize me, which is always fun. If you ever see me around, feel free to say hi. But there are piles and piles of games, and games behind games, and games that I'm not aware of. And I've spent about an hour or so searching things on BGG and double-checking stats. And I think I've narrowed it down to a few titles that I know I love, I don't currently own, or expansions that would be good to go ahead and get. So I'm going to leave here and swing over to another game store and continue checking out what's around this community, but this is a place that I need to return to because I could spend a week searching through things and still have stuff that I'm not quite aware of. So I'm just now leaving the Warzone Matrix. I picked up a few games, and now I'm going to head over to a store called Grotz A Lot of Games, which another friend said had a game that I'm actually currently looking for. So let's continue our adventure. Oh, and yeah, it's completely died out. I spent way too long in there hunting through their products. I'm nearly to the game store, but I ran out of gas, which means I have to stop and fill up. Now, here's the puzzle that I deal with. When I fill up, I have to turn off the car because the engine will die if I fill up without turning it off. But I have to park in a way that allows me to take off, because in order to get my car up and running again, I have to turn the key, rev the gas, get a little bit of power behind the throttle, shift to drive, and then start moving. Once I'm moving, I'm good to go. If you want to diagnose my car, let me know. we made it to another game store. We're at Grotz A Lot of Games here, well, in Cleveland. A little bit more of a populated zone, but my car made it over here. We sputtered to start, but we're still alive. I'm going to pop my head in. I've heard they have a deluxe copy of Age of Steam, which is what I'm actually hoping to grab. Cool. So I'm going to set this up, and then I'm going to pull you on.
Cool.
Okay?
I'll just stay over here on this side then.
So what he doesn't realize is we're already recording. People aren't usually comfortable on camera, and I walk in with a vlog camera and tell them that I want to stick them on, on video. So I have the owner. I have your name here, which is Eric Grotz. Grotz.
Yes.
Grotz at Grotz A Lot of Games. Grotz A Lot of Games. That's the name. There is a pun happening with his last name and the store name, which I like. You're the second store I've visited here in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. So far, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, so far what I'm seeing is that you have a really well-organized inventory. You have a lot of games that I haven't seen in retail stores yet, and a really actually remarkably solid selection of accessible games, miniature games, and really heavy games like Eclipse and Age of Steam, which are things that I'm going home with.
Yes, yeah, hey, we try our best over here at least.
Can you give me a spin on, how long you've had the store, where the store, where you're from, and what you try to do here for your community?
So let's see, at the time of recording this, I guess, we have just celebrated 2 years now, last month. That would be October of 2021 now, is it? I forget what time it is all the time now. So about 2 years, and generally what we try to do over here is we try to keep games very accessible to everyone and kind of give everyone the best bang for their buck. One of our big things here is that we're the local quote-unquote online game store, that we sell a lot of games at discounted prices, so you'll see a lot of titles. Very competitive with online places. I won't name any of them just in case that interferes with anything, but that's kind of
doesn't interfere with anything with me, but it might with him, so I won't name any either.
Well, we'll see about that, but that's kind of our thing, is we just want to have a bunch of good games that people can sit there and enjoy, save some extra money, and we want to keep everything to be a really good little collection of games, so whatever you walk out with here, it should be something that's very good and highly recommended. You'll see a lot of titles that a lot of people will recommend, maybe some ones you won't normally see all the time.
I mean, I'm going to walk home with a few titles, and I'll make sure to shout out the store when I do some coverage on them. I'm excited. You have 2 titles here? No, you have 3 titles here that I have hoped to get my hands on, and you've got deluxe copies, which I'll pay a little bit of extra for, but they're going into my permanent collection. Like, this is a good visit for me. Terrible for my wallet, and Shira's going to be pissed. I've been walking around and spent a bit of money. Now, this is a major contrast to the last store we were at. Not in a bad way for either of them, honestly. They both were welcoming and inviting, but the hobby space kind of has 2 branching pathways, right? This feels a little bit more like Labyrinth in DC, the store that I grew up in. Open, accessible, with good advice on games and a really curated collection. Whereas the other one was sort of like a Grail space for me, where you could dig through and potentially find something that existed in the 1970s that no one's touched for about 20 years, and you could spend a little bit of money, bring it home, and it would be all yours. Neither is bad, but if I had to recommend a new gamer to go visit a location, this is definitely going to be high on that list. Whereas if you already love the hobby and you want to go on a bit of adventure and have an experience that feels like you're opening someone's closet, it's going to be the other one. Here's the other problem with visiting this store. I ran into a whole host of games that I wasn't expecting to see on shelves, which is great if you're looking for some of the deluxe copies of hard-to-get titles. Terrible if you want to have a curated collection and you already know you're in love with some of the deluxe copies of curated titles. I found PAX Viking, a game that I playtested, helped do development work on, and I haven't seen a copy ever in existence, period. I own one now. Cool, thanks so much. I got a copy of Eclipse too, didn't I?
Sure did.
Did I get a playmat?
Also, yes.
Okay. Let's do one of these. Alright, I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. When am I going to have time to play all of this? This is an issue. It's incredibly cold, so the lens is all foggy, and we're gonna try our best to fix that. So this had to stretch on to a second day, and guess what? I picked her up from the airport to be a part of this. I've been to 2 game stores so far, Shira.
Congratulations.
The first one was a hole-in-the-wall tunnel of games. It was just, if you took Board Game Co.'s collection, multiplied it by like 80, and then just stuck it in a hallway,
Fantastic.
it was pretty crazy. The other one was a very clean, nice kept, a little bit of a smaller store, but it was really nice, and they actually had a lot of exclusives, deluxe games that I have not seen or gotten my hands on anywhere else. Ash is trying to currently drink my
Do you want his
Frappuccino.
vanilla one?
No.
She had her own puppuccino of whipped cream.
Not hers.
I'm
We're
excited
here-
to see what you're getting. Maybe we'll do our shelf or sell segment on it.
We might. We are here at Recess Games, which is going to be a larger version of that small store. This is probably one of the biggest game stores in the area, so we'll see the most famous hole in the wall, a really good community game store, and now the largest one in our community. I'm excited to show you and maybe have you pick out some titles. This is a dangerous one for
Definitely.
you to go to, though.
It's the biggest one. I mean, this is the best one for me to go to. I have so many options.
Yeah, about that. We're embroiled in a debate right now.
I have a chai latte with soy milk. However, he said, I want a vanilla frappuccino. And I'm like, cool. I ordered him a vanilla frappuccino. I say it has no coffee by its very, very white color. He's like, no, it for sure has coffee.
Look, listen, I'm very, very white. I'm full of coffee, so it's not a strong argument.
Votes down below. Do vanilla frappuccinos actually have coffee in them? They don't.
It does not taste like it, but I want the caffeine. Shira's hanging out back in the car. We're about to go into Recess Games, but I also have a surprise for her when we get home. I stayed up all night painting her studio, her office, where she actually does all of the editing work on the channel. She has no idea that I pulled it off, and so hopefully we'll get some footage of me surprising her when we get back as well. So we're starting to explore Recess Games. She's actually going to be the one picking out some titles because I already got the chance to do that a little bit.
And I'm seeing so many that I enjoy that I don't know if he has in his collection. So you're gonna have to tell me what he's has.
It's so interesting, the difference between these stores. I found all 3 stores in the area have been really welcoming, but in their own way. Starting at the first one, the kind of hole in the wall, it was welcoming, but it was welcoming as if you walked into like a friend's garage, right? They just wanted to hang out, talk games, and just sit and chill for an hour or two. The next one was professional, but friendly. Like went on a guided tour point by point in the area. And this one is really friendly, really welcoming, but on the high end of professionalism.
And they have so many games.
A ton of games, a lot of events. I'm actually really excited about this store. I'm even more excited about their event calendar. So.
Can I go explore now?
Oh, sure. All right, we grabbed a few titles. Honestly, they had a really solid selection, just not a hobbyist selection as much.
They're very classic games, but they didn't
All
have
of
all
the
the
board
deep dives
games.
into the ones that I really wanted, the area control.
There was none of those rare titles we were kind of hunting for. So we got some classics. We're going to share them with you. But it's time to get home and continue moving on with our day because it is getting late already.
Thank you.
Did you know already?
I had a feeling.
How?
Because you tried to undermine it and then overmine it. I'm like, did he actually paint my room?
Did you think I did?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
I spent all last night doing this.
I had a feeling.
This was a godly orange.
It was a
How'd you know I was doing this?
Because what else have I been wanting to have taken care of?
There you have it. I visited 3 different board game stores.
I visited one board game store.
Came home with a pile of games, and overall, my takeaway is this. I really want to bring you to the chaotic first store I visited.
I think it might be overwhelming for me. I was thinking about it as you described it, how they don't even know what they have in stock. That will be just overwhelming. I'll want to organize the entire store by category.
Yes, but I think it's such a cool, unique experience.
I actually like the store that we went to together today, how organized it was. They have a bunch of different display sections in the middle that are theme-based type, like 2 players, children, or I don't know, all these abstract, but then the rest of their store is all organized, alphabetized.
So I wanna go visit Warzone Matrix with you. You don't have to stay there for very long, but Warzone Matrix was a fascinating place. Really friendly, very accessible, but definitely a hobbyist game store. Like, you go there if you're in the hobby, and I mean deep, right? But it is such a weird experience to walk into just walls and walls. It's like walking into when Harry Potter picked his wand.
Oh boy, no.
It's
That.
It's
Ollivanders gave me such
it's
anxiety.
That for board games. Now, the second place I think you actually might really love.
This is the one that gets deluxeified Kickstarters, correct?
He has a smaller store.
Okay.
But it is curated. He has hand-selected so many of his titles with a ton that I actually picked up, a few that I'd never seen on shelves before. I picked up the most games from that one. If I was going to say the store that I'm most likely to go to purchase games,
it'll be that one.
it's actually going to be his store. And that's going to be the second. It's like lots of games. I forget the pun that he does, but it's like Grotz A Lots of games or something like that. Really lovely store, fantastic gentleman, and yeah, curated collection where it's super hobbyist focused with a lot of accessibility. Like, there's a wide range, but the range is curated. So kids games, they're picked. 2-player games, they're picked, right?
I'm excited
Heavy
because
games.
he sounds like someone interesting to talk to with his area of expertise. If he's curated all these games, he has to know enough about each game to have curated.
Yeah, or gotten solid recommendations. I can't guarantee that he knows every title in there, but he certainly was able to walk me through, took me on a full tour of his store, and was excited to break down every element and component there. He takes a lot of pride in his shop, and I love that.
Awesome.
The third place we went, which was...
I don't remember. It started with an R.
So bad. I'm so bad at
It seemed the
names.
most professional out of the way you were describing the other two. It was very organized, very structured.
It's your high-end retail.
Yeah.
Even the way they greeted us at the front and offered to take our packages from our hands to the desk to guarantee that we'd buy it. Very, very good salesmanship. Very good customer service, honestly.
They have snacks. They have a whole game room in the back for just gaming.
Very professional. It felt like a sales floor. I am the most interested in that store for the event specifically.
Yeah.
The collection, honestly, I think it's an amazing collection for anyone into the hobby. But for someone as deep as we are...
I think it is a great foundation and starting place for people entering the hobby and people who are midway into the hobby. But once you dive as deep as we sometimes dive, you need more...
Yeah,
need
the
more.
Curated games, the deluxe edition of Rococo, for instance.
Yes.
Things like that are things that I couldn't find. I mean, I actually think I could have found this there, but there's a few things that they just didn't have on the shelf. They didn't have as an option for us.
Yeah.
And so,
I'm glad Cleveland has so much to offer.
It actually has a surprising amount, and there's still more game stores to go visit.
Out? Ooh.
Yeah, which is
next
the really exciting part. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. We're going to do our Shelf or Sell segment, where we're going to walk you through all the titles we got from...
all three of these stores. So hop on over and check out, because... Are we keeping all of these? It's a Shelf or Sell segment.
Well, we are keeping them all until we at least play them.
Spoiler.
Yeah.